All right, the watch list for Tuesday. Today sucked because my internet went out, and then it went out and on and out. It was really glitchy, and you can't trade like that. And you certainly can't run a chat room like that. So Comcast came out, and I think I'm squared away. Got a brand new modem. They did some other work outside, so I think I'm squared away. It seems to be working pretty well right now. So hopefully tomorrow morning everything will be much smoother. All right. I'm going to start with CLDN, which if you look back this way, you can kind of see that it was just doing nothing for a long time and starting to get some action here. But let's zoom in and get that big gap out of there. Okay, so it had this gap up and a reversal, and now it's working its way back up. Really, the play was today. You can kind of picture a trend line break somewhere right around here to the upside. So I feel like I'm chasing, but this could still be worth watching for red to green, something like that. So maybe it gaps down a little bit and we go red to green. It certainly is showing some strength lately. So that's CLDN. PSTG I'm going to put back on watch. Had an inside day today. So I like it if it gets over today's high, 13.14, knowing that Friday's high was 13.27. So you've got 13.14 might get you to 13.28, and maybe continue, maybe make a move up towards 14. PSTG, I want to watch that one. Lumber Liquidators LL. I like this one. You had a spike here. You've got a lower high. You got a lower high again. And if you take today's candle out of it, right, it just looks like another lower high, and we're headed down. But then today, in a pretty weak tape, by the way, it put in a green day. So I like it over today's high, which would be 1571, knowing that it could get through Friday's high if it gets through today's high of 1598, and then kind of break a trend line here. And I think there's a lot of shorts in this name. So this chart, to me, just glancing at it, looks really good over 16, right? But we try to get in before a 16 break by using the break of today's high as a possible catalyst. So 1571 is my first potential catalyst. If you've watched my videos in the past, you know that's not etched in stone. I don't automatically take it if it hits 1571, especially if it happens in the first few minutes. I'll probably just step aside and focus on gap plays. Also, if it gaps down to 14, opens at 14, then 1571 doesn't mean that much because it will have come too far in the short-term period. So keep all those caveats in mind. But as a general rule, I like the 1571 and then a breakthrough 16 for a potential nice trade tomorrow. Okay, CANF had an inside day today. Was fairly strong. If you go to 5-minute candles, fairly strong near the close. So this one is interesting. You've got a break of today's high would be 359, and then you have Friday's high of 374, not very high away, and then not very far away. Sorry, and then you've got the high of the gap up day, which is 389. So you kind of have what we call stacked catalysts here. If it can start knocking them down. So the first potential catalyst would be a break of today's high, which would be 359. I always try to put that number in my notes. EMES. All right, this one, you had this big move here, then kind of a little cup and handle, and then today, let me zoom in a little bit. So today, it kind of tried to break through this handle. It did not retest these recent highs on an intraday basis. You can see that it was pretty strong out of the gate and then just did nothing, and really the market didn't do much of anything today. I'll glance at the SPY. I don't mean to digress here, but we'll glance at the SPY. It's still just in this range that it's been in for the past 6-7 days, something like that. All right. So EMES, I like the little increased volume. I still want to watch this one. I don't know if it can get up around over 715, something like that. You kind of picture a little trend line here. If you get up to this area tomorrow, maybe it retakes today's high and maybe then makes a run towards this 828, which was the 2-day high of this big volume spike. All right, so anyway, this one just goes on watch. Again, it's like maybe a red to green, something like that, but I don't have a specific price that I'm in love with. That's a great catalyst. OPXA, after this big 2-day move and actually a 3rd-day attempt at a move, you've just got this high, lower high, and another lower high. We're getting back close to the 8-day moving average, so this one just goes on bounce watch. All right, I don't have a number. What I'd like to see is this thing to trade in a narrow range for a while, and then maybe break to the upside, and we'll be in. Assuming the SPY is with us too. So a lot of these bounce plays, we're always watching the SPY. So if I try to never fight it. If the SPY is just in a free fall or selling off, and I have a long setup in one of these stocks, I just simply don't take it. Right. GENE. And this is what's been happening with, and I don't think this is my internet. I think this is eSignal. Terribly slow at times. Just makes me crazy. But anyway, all right, GENE, you had this really big move here, and now you just got a couple days lower. Just like that OPXA, I'm just putting it on bounce watch, all right? I don't have any kind of catalyst price. VLTC, same thing. Just goes on bounce watch. It had this huge move here, and now just a few days lower. Let's look at it on 15-minute candles. I don't really have any kind of catalyst price either. I like to see as a narrow range and then a high of day break. So it doesn't cost you anything to have something that's a recent high flyer on watch, and that is how I make my living, is off recent high flyers. If you've noticed, I try to have almost everything I'm watching has just recently gotten really high relative volume and a nice move. All right, and I'm looking for the second move, if you will. All right, STRP. This one we had on watch today. Again, I wasn't in the room, and it didn't really trade very cleanly. It didn't do much of anything. It had this big volume flush, and then worked its way all the way back up to the highs of the day. So this one just goes back on. This is a nice 2-day squeeze here. When I said before today, I said if sellers came in, but I think this is already worth watching for long, because it this was $50 like a month ago. So keep that in mind. And so anyway, today gaps down, sells off, and then closes at the highs. So this absolutely goes back on long watch. Hopefully we'll find some morning gappers to play as well. I'm sure we will. And hopefully my internet is all fixed. All right, so I'm going to leave the list at that. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see everybody tomorrow.